Hi, in this video we're going to go through Chapter 1, Section 9, and we're going to learn how to solve equations that you have something multiplied or divided to the variable. So this again is Chapter 1, Section 9, and we're going to look at solving one-step equations with multiplication or division. So let's look at number 1 to start with. It says negative 4x. Now remember that means negative 4 times x, and you can even put a dot for multiplication if that helps you remember that. So we have negative 4 times x equals 28. Well, just like in section 8, we need to figure out what is the variable. So in this one, x is our variable, and our goal is going to be to get x by itself so that we have x equals some number. So you need to think to yourself, what is happening to the x that is keeping it from being by itself? And in this problem, x is being multiplied by negative 4. So x is being multiplied by negative 4. That's what's happening to the x right now. And to solve this, we want to do the opposite of that. So instead of multiplying by negative 4, what's the opposite of that? That would be dividing by negative 4. And in algebra, for division, we use a fraction bar like this. And remember that if I am going to divide the left side by negative 4, I also have to divide the right side by negative 4. So now on the left side, I have negative 4 times x divided by negative 4. Well, negative 4 divided by negative 4, that's just 1. Those cancel out. And I'm just left with 1 times x, or we could just write that as x. So 1 times x is the same as x. On the right side, we have 28 divided by negative 4, and that is equal to negative 7. And you can check this by taking the negative 7 and plugging it back in here. Is negative 4 times negative 7 equal to 28? It is, so we did it correctly. So that was number 1. All right, let's look at number 3. Number 3 says 3y equals 42. Now what does that mean? That means 3 times y equals 42, and our variable in this one is y. So we have to think to ourselves, what is happening to the y? What is being done to the y that is keeping it from being by itself? And this time y is being multiplied by a 3. So then we need to think to ourselves, what's the opposite of multiplying by 3? And the opposite of multiplying by 3 is dividing by 3. So I'm going to divide both sides of the equal sign by 3. Now on the left side, 3 divided by 3 is 1. And we're just left with 1 times y, which we're just going to write as y. And on the right side, you have to take 42 divided by 3. You can use your calculator if you want, but that will be equal to 14. So 14. So the answer is y equals 14. We can check it, take the 14, plug it in for y, and you would get 3 times 14, but we know that equals 42, so we know it's correct. Now let's look at a problem like number 9. Number 9 is we have our variable, that's an L in number 9. It looks kind of like a 1, but it's supposed to be an L. So we have L over negative 15 equals to 4. Now what does that mean when I say L over? That's another way of saying divided by. So we look for our variable is L. L is being divided by negative 15. It's being divided. And then what's the opposite of dividing by negative 15? That would be multiplying by negative 15. So I'm going to put parentheses around this too. I'm going to multiply both sides by negative 15. Now, when I do that on the left side, when I have negative 15 and then I'm also dividing by 15, those cancel. And all I'm left with on the left side is L, which is good because that was my goal. I wanted to get L by itself. And on the right side, you have to take 4 times negative 15 and that is equal to a negative 60. So if we were to check it, we would put the negative 60 in for L, and negative 60 divided by negative 15 does equal 4, so it does check. So our answer then is L equals negative 60. Let's do one more division problem. How about number 12? Number 12 says M divided by negative 6 equals 1. Well, our variable is M. Oops, I have a blue highlighter, sorry. Our variable is M, and you want to say to yourself, what is keeping M from being by itself? And the answer to that is that M is being divided by a negative 6. It's being divided by a negative 6. So the opposite of dividing by negative 6 would be to multiply by negative 6. And we have to multiply both sides by a negative 6. So when you multiply the left side by a negative 6, the negative 6's cancel. There's one on the top, there's one on the bottom, and all you're left with is M. And on the right side, you have 1 times negative 6, which is just negative 6. And you could check it because negative 6 divided by negative 6 does equal a positive 1. And so our answer then is M equals negative 6. So these were some problems from Chapter 1, Section 9. So look this section over and see if that helps make sense of it. Thanks a lot and have a good day.